My name is Alex at Accessories International, and today we are working on a Mercedes W204 C-Class. And if you're someone who still loves your older Mercedes model, this video is for you. Today, we're installing a DMP Android command screen, which is designed to modernize the one part of your car that you're interacting with the most. The screen replaces your original Mercedes-Benz display, but it's not going to remove or disable any of your OEM features. Your factory menus are going to stay put, your steering wheel controls, your command knob, your OEM backup camera, all of the sensors that are integrated, and your vehicle settings as well. You're not losing anything from the car, you're just integrating modern tech on top of the factory system. With the screen, you get wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation, music, playback, apps, and a modern interface which is going to instantly change the way that your entire interior feels. So in this video today, we're going to show you how to install this new screen. And if at any point you have any questions, at Accessories International, we've been doing this for over 25 years. We're based in Miami, Florida, and we don't just sell the screens, we know them, we install them, we use them in our own cars every single day, and we support them long after the installs. Let's get into the install and show you how it's done. To begin, we'll give you an overview of the entire DMP Android command screen kit, starting with the screen itself. This particular model is the 12.3-inch thin screen. It is thinner than the previous generation. Moving on here, we have the harness. This is the power harness. One end goes to the Mercedes radio, the other to the original Mercedes harness. Here is the audio out cable. This controls all the sound and must be plugged into this AMI adapter. The AMI adapter end plugs to the car, and then this female end plugs into the audio out end here. This is what allows the screen to communicate with your car speakers. Here we have an audio filter box. Here is a USB. This is for either wired CarPlay or updates. This is a GPS antenna. Here we have the LVDS harness, which is the second harness in the kit. This plugs into the back of the screen. This is the LVDS in. You will plug in an LVDS cable that comes out of the back of the original screen into that female end. And here's our USB 2, also used for either updates or wired CarPlay. Here we have our mounting bracket for the screen, and that will complete the full kit. Moving on to the install, our customer had an aftermarket screen already in his car, so we'll start off by removing the screen with the two retaining screws in the back. Once we remove the screen, there's a couple of wires that need to be disconnected. If you are starting from your original screen, you will start at this step, which is removing this trim panel from the passenger side of the car. We use a trim tool and start prying from the bottom up, and there are snaps. It uses a snapping mechanism. You can gently pry up until this whole air vent panel is released. You'll feel the snaps coming up undone. Just gently do it until it comes out. Then you'll proceed to get yourself a 90-degree pick tool and stick it in through the air vents to release the catch lock on the other side. As you can see here, the catch lock mechanism must be caught by the 90-degree pick tool and pulled inwards towards the air vents. You can see here as we push it down, this is what allows the air vent mechanism to be released from the dash and allow you to freely pull it out. Here we have all of the snaps. You can study them underneath the actual air vent panel here. You can apply pressure with your pry tool at these particular locations to make for an easier removal process. And once you have it off, you have an electrical connector on the back of the air vents that can be undone to remove the entire panel. If you are removing the OEM screen, at this point you will need to remove the dash trim. The arrows here indicate exactly where you must pry out in order to free the dash trim, and once that's done, you can simply pull it out and then continue to remove either your OEM screen with these two screws here or an aftermarket bracket as we have here with the same two screws. Once that piece is freed, you can simply pull out the panel to access the internals. On the OEM unit, when you pull this out, it will also come out with this dash trim, so do not be afraid to pull out the entire thing on the OEM units. We'll then proceed to remove the entire OEM radio. On the OEM radio, you have two screws which are holding the radio in place. These are the retaining screws and must be pulled out to free the radio. Once you begin to unscrew the screws from this location, you'll see this metal bracket which must be pushed down in order to release the radio from place and unlock it. When the screws are in place, it will push push that bracket upwards, so be sure to push this down in order to free, and you will visibly see the bracket fall down into place. When the radio is pulled out, you'll then see this hazard light connector on the bottom right hand corner of the OEM radio. You can simply pull it out and continue removing it. We then move to the harness. We'll start by removing the harnesses from the back of the Mercedes radio. You'll simply undo it with this latch lock and pull it out. And in our case, we're actually going to remove the entire radio. This is not necessary, but we do feel that it gives us more room to work with, as well as removing the AC control panel. It's 2 screws on the top, and then you can just simply pull it out. We'll then get our Android harnesses and prepare them with some tape and some wire, and running the wire from the bottom radio slot here up to the top where the bracket and the screen will be, so we can position these connectors to prepare them to plug into the back of the new screen. We'll repeat the same process for the next harness as well. We'll then move on to the glove box area, where we're going to be running the USBs from the Android harnesses, as you can see here, into the glove box. We want these to remain accessible so that we can plug in and run any updates or use wired CarPlay if we decide to do that. We'll repeat the process of taping and using some wire to run the 2 USBs from this radio hole area into the glove box area. We'll then begin to connect the radio again. Grab our Android harness power cable and plug it into the original Mercedes wiring harness on one end, and the other end make sure to transfer the fiber cable. This fiber cable will come out of your original Mercedes harness. It's this orange cable, and it needs to be transferred to the same corner slot of the new Android harness, which plugs into the back of the Mercedes radio. Without this cable transferred, you will not have any sound from the radio. We'll then get the LVDS connector. It's labeled as LVDS in from the Android harness, and plug in the OEM LVDS cable, which came out of the back of the screen. We'll then need to run the audio out cable from the Android harness over to the center console storage box and use the AMI adapter, which is shown on the bottom here. And the AMI adapter will plug into the AMI input of the car, which is located in the center console storage box. And then the audio out cable will plug into that adapter. You can see both pieces here with the audio out cable plugging into the AMI adapter. Now for our installation, we decided to leave it completely clean with no exposed wires. We decided to remove the entire center console to not leave any wires exposed, but this does require you to disassemble the shifter, passenger air vents, and a lot of other components, which causes you to spend a lot more time. For most people, we recommend this cable to either be run through the center console carpet liner, which is just on the bottom side of that whole center console panel area, or we can also do this process through software, which will not require you to run any cable at all. So you can simply leave the cable tucked to the back of the dash and not have to worry about connecting anything into the vehicle. We do send you into the back-end engineering mode of the Mercedes radio to do this process, and we only will recommend this if you do it with our guidance. So if you did purchase your screen from us, or you're thinking of purchasing, feel free to contact us and we will walk you through this process and save you a lot of time and a lot of labor by doing it through software rather than this physical connection. And then prepare the screen for testing phase by connecting the connectors to the back of the screen and powering it on with the car. Once the screen is turned on, we'll go into car info and make sure the OEM menu is appearing. We'll put ourselves into the AM FM audio mode, test out some of the FM stations and make sure we have sound and can hear it. And then we'll go over to the reverse settings. Make sure if you're using your OEM camera that the reverse setting is set to OEM. You can do that by going down in this menu and finding original camera. In our case, we're using an aftermarket camera and we tested it here to confirm it is working, and we can see that it is. And lastly, we will go back to the original Mercedes menu again and put the car into aux mode. This allows us to then test the audio from the Android screen by going into the preloaded music icon here and testing the sound to make sure it works. Once this is all confirmed to be working, we can then proceed to get the mounting bracket and begin to install it in its proper position. This is the new slim mounting bracket. We can start by installing it with the the 2 retaining screws. They are the same screws in the same location that the old original bracket was using. And then we can grab our screen, and as you can see here, there's some hooks. There's 4 hooks on the back of the screen, which will simply slide down into the tabs that are included in the mounting bracket. There are no screws required for the screen. They simply use this hooking mechanism to secure it into place. We'll now grab our OEM air vent trim panel and reinstall it into position. Remember to connect the electrical connection on the back of the panel first, and then you can simply align it into place and apply a bit of pressure to get it to fall into position. You will hear the clips snapping back into place, and you have to do this across the entire panel until everything is nice and flush into your dash and confirmed to have been clipped on properly. And now enjoy your 12.3-inch thin screen for your Mercedes C-Class W204 facelift model. This screen packs all of the latest features while retaining the OEM and gives a huge upgrade to the interior of your car. We just finished installing the DMP Android command screen into this Mercedes-Benz C-Class. It's a W204 facelift model. We've got the wireless CarPlay, the wireless Android Auto, all the apps, all the good stuff, and you still keep all of the original features working in the car. If we take a look at the screen itself, we'll go ahead and show you, and you can go ahead and swipe and hit the car info button. This is going to bring up the original Mercedes interface. As you can see, it's all still functional. You use the command knob here down on the bottom, and the knob is what's going to control all of the features, just like it always has in the vehicle. Then moving back, you can see all of the steering wheel controls, also fully functional. These will work to control your sound for both the Android system and the OEM system. AC works the same way as it always has, and if we go ahead and put the car into reverse, you can see that the car goes into reverse and shows up perfectly, same way as it always has. Going back into park, we'll go back to the OEM menu. If we tap it, it'll go back to the Android system, as the OEM system was not a touch screen, so you got to use the command knob to control it. Overall, this is the new DMP Android command system. It gives you all the new features, gives you this big bright new display, and keeps all of the car's original features still functional. My name is Alex at Accessories International. Again, we've been doing this for over 25 years, since 1998. So if you need anything, you have any questions, inquiries, give us a call, 786-242-5400. Thanks again for tuning into the video. See you next time.